Hello there. My name is Linda, also known as Tortagialla around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery. And today I wanted to share a little journal chat with you as I go through a flip of an old mixed media journal that I have from years and years ago. I'm going through sort of decluttering and obviously have come upon many, many journals that I've created throughout the years and trying to figure out sort of what to do with them. And it also just made me nostalgic for some of the like older style pages that I've done in the past that are much more mixed media as compared to what I do now. So this journal here was actually made by me. It's just like a piece of scrap leather, and I sewed some watercolor paper in it and sort of decorated like these intro pages. And you can see that it's mixed media in the sense that I'm using paint and collage, tipping things in, drawing, just a huge mix of things that maybe nowadays I very much moved away from just because I don't have a lot of that sort of like wet media with me. I strayed farther away from that type of supply after having my kids, um, and feeling like sort of not wanting to like get my hands dirty because you have to like start and stop a lot. So I really don't have a lot of like paint things. But as I look back into old journal pages, I'm like, oh, I really miss that organic sort of feel of just like slapping on color and paint onto pages. And I really love this like heart collage that I did was just sort of like watercoloring and random colors splashed on, doing a collage with, um, different little bits and pieces in my stash, from thread and paper to leather. And on the right hand side, just like journaling, random words and things. And, journaling, there are definitely the two sort of opposite sides to it where you have people that are very, very like visually creative, and then you have like journaling, like the actual writing. And obviously, most of us probably fall like somewhere in between, right? Because you do a little bit of both. And I think that they are both, valid forms of journaling. It's really just an expression of your feelings and thoughts, um, as you play with paper and supplies and inks and color and things like that, textures, just to have a little fun and have a little release in a creative way. So you can see that I had done a lot of, um, what is it called? Not embossing, but like different effects, like scrapbooking effects using like heat embossing or that kind of stuff with like stamps and other materials that I used to have a lot, like years and years ago, and now I do a lot less of. And this particular journal definitely showcases a lot more like visual stuff as opposed to necessarily lots and lots of writing, but I do have pages where it's just like stream of consciousness kind of writing and just a splash of color to sort of like make it a little more interesting. But lots of drawing and doodling and playing with paint just to play with color. And I'm pretty sure I did follow maybe prompts and things, like this is a very orange page, and with printables as well, of course. This like sort of yellow happy is actually a printable that you can find on my blog for free, to print out like sort of like a poster. So the pages get like really crinkled and messy, and this is like a canvas paper, I think, that I bound into this journal. So there's like some drawing and some writing, totally messy, crazy stuff, which I think I like might have journaled there and then like put the paint over it to cover it up, and drawing with like a dip pen, printables that I did post for my Ko-fi members. If you're on that, if you check the feed, it's there. And this is like an ink block test on vellum, more drawing, um, and using pattern papers to collage and create different pages. And on the right hand side, I probably meant to journal down there, but I guess I didn't. I left it blank. And um, you know, as I go through these older pages, I can just see there's so much more experimentation, because I was playing around and I don't necessarily have like a very specific style, but there's just a lot of like fun and play and exploring, and after the fact sort of thinking, okay, what is it that I like or don't like? What are the aspects that I like and why? And that could like inform what I would do more of in the future, because I think when it comes to any kind of creative work, like that is just what you do, right? You play, you practice in your play, and then you keep doing things that you do like and keep trying new things to sort of like expand your vocabulary and skills and just keep going from there. And sometimes you might come upon something that you really, really like and you want to maybe make it something bigger. And I do miss that aspect. I feel like I've gotten into sort of a rut of doing like the same kind of things and not letting myself experiment, because you sort of want to create a page that is like expected, right? Like something that you know that will come out a certain way. So you fall into like old habits kind of thing. And so it's just being a little bit too concerned about the end product. And that is sort of like the opposite of what perhaps like a journal or a sketchbook should be. It should be a place that you can do anything in, right? So this is a very cute page that I put even some embroidery in, using, definitely using different materials, using watercolor paper and cutting it out and sort of collaging with doodles as well, and also doing practice in like drawing, monotone, sort of colors, and just playing around. This was like playing around with a red marker that was like running out. And of course, I have like watercolor pieces and drawings and things, a big mix. And it is nice to flip through your old work. I don't know how often people actually do that, because we're always sort of moving ahead and concerned about creating new things. I don't know if we spend enough time sometimes just like looking back at what we have done and maybe gaining some interesting information from inspecting like our own work. So you can see these pages are like super paint heavy because I was just playing with paint. And again, it's that aspect of fun and freedom that like we often let like kids do that, and we don't seem to let ourselves do that. So this page was with like India ink and some acrylic paint, I think, and it was just like a quick like, let me do something fun, and it turned out to be one of my most favorite because I just really like these strokes and sort of like uncontrolled lines. More drawings and doodles and printable papers in the background as well. And, just practicing writing with a dip pen, because I did go through like a whole phase where I had a really, probably like a very bad dip pen, like cheapy, old one. This one, there was a print out with like a poetry that I wanted to keep there, and I was just making like scribbles and creating a page, like, just again, it's not obviously like the most aesthetically like beautiful or complicated kind of pages with any kind of specific technique per se. It's just having fun, and I guess that is the like my takeaway from looking at this journal, is that I really miss playing with more materials in like a free manner, and being like letting myself let go a little more and not be so concerned that like every page has to be, like a complete page, in your journal. and definitely the element of play, I think, is perhaps missing a little. Oftentimes, I find myself very concerned with like everything has to be productive or practical or have a meaning or an end result. Um, and that definitely takes away from the play. So this page is like a huge collage of lots of different types of papers, and I put the vellum on top to sort of like mute the whole collage in the background so that I could frame some writing on top. So that is one way to sort of like mute a background, is to use vellum to sort of like make it cloudy. Or of course you can use traditional media and like gesso over it, paint over it. So here's like more painting. I made like a flower girl sort of collage, and I have some pages that definitely look more like scrapbooky with pictures. Um, and of course, just pattern papers and drawings. And towards the end of this journal, I didn't finish it up. I do have some blank pages, but I must have moved on to another journal. So you don't necessarily need to finish like every single last page of a journal. Also, because this page was getting, or this journal was getting really, really fat. So it was just getting really bulky to work in. So I have some random like tidbits here and there and like taping things in and, just random scribbles and things like that. But pretty much, the bulk of like the mixed media kind of pages are done. So this was one of the journals from many years back, and I definitely had fun flipping through, and I hope you enjoyed just taking a peek into my old journals. I'm definitely exploring different things and trying to figure out like what would be interesting to share with you guys. So let me know down in the comments if you like journal flip throughs. And if you didn't know, I'm a digital designer. You can find my digital printable pattern papers for download on Ko-fi. You can join as a member or go to the shop and just buy packs directly. I also have a lot of freebies on my Ko-fi shop, as well as tortagialla.com, where I blog and offer free digital printables. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.